wow, what is the power of forgiveness? And how come I'm not allowing myself to feel that? You know, again, there is a powerful quote is that man crucifies himself between two thieves, the regrets of yesterday and the fear of tomorrow. So my question and to ask yourself, where have you been crucifying yourself? And to ask yourself, what's the price I'm paying for that? What's the benefit I'm getting out of it? Because I'm going to say that, boy, when I have ever found myself spending a little too much time over on the side called resentful or victim to something, the benefit really is that I don't have to do anything about it. And I can point the finger out. However, turning that around into, okay, what were the choices I made that set this all up? What am I getting out of all this? And most of the time we'll find that we're getting to be right about something. But the question to always ask yourself, do you really want to be right about something or do you want to be successful? And sometimes it's all the little things that we've got to do that set us up for the big things in our life. You know, you want to be successful. You want to have extraordinary relationships. You want to be in the best physical shape of your life. You want to have your financial planning, your financial life healthy, and you want to have healthy relationships. You want to have healthy relationships with yourself, healthy relationships with other people. Guess what? That doesn't happen by, magic fairy dust. You actually have to do some work. You got to get rigorous about this stuff, and you got to keep using and utilizing being a self-cleaning oven. And please hear me. I want everyone to know that I'm not taking away from anything that has ever happened to anyone. But I am going to ask that you start to ask yourself, wow, what am I really getting out of this? You know, I looked up at some really good quotes, and one of the ones that really touched me was, there is a nobility in compassion, a beauty in empathy, a grace in forgiveness. You know, guess what? I'm going to take the high road because I can. And I take the high road, and people around me, I will start being an example for them. And out of being an example for them, they will be an example for their children. And that's how we have to be certain ways. Can't tell our children to do something if we're not doing it. That's the truth. That is absolutely 100% the truth. And then another quote that was very powerful to me, the decision to forgive touches you to your very core, to who you are as a human being. And that's the truth. However, there is a man that I met many years ago. Tragic story. His son was about ready to go to college, and he was actually killed by another young man that was his initiation into a gang. They found the young boy. His son was killed, and, it's a tragic story. But this gentleman turned it around to wanting to know what motivated that young man to kill his son. And from that, he took that and started a foundation that he is all about peace and freedom. And he actually has written to the last couple of governors, because he is petitioning to get this young man out of jail, not to spend the rest of his life in jail, because he actually has visited this young man in prison, and he wants him to be working with him on and in his foundation about going out and talking to kids about gangs and about violence, and absolutely talking to them about how do we create a peace, how do we create an inner peace. And I think that's really what forgiveness is all about, is creating an inner peace inside of ourselves. So some people can look at someone and say, wow, how could they possibly do that? But why not? Again, an example that we use a lot up at our advanced courses is, a young woman that was raped, spends her life, making everyone around her pay for that. Whereas someone else created a home for women that were abused and or sexually abused to be able to come to heal themselves. So we have different venues that we could actually use, and which one is going to support us in creating the legacy and the mark that we want to leave on this planet. So that's what I'm going to ask everyone to really start to look at. Wow, how am I using this to not be the extraordinary person that I was put on in this planet. That it is time for all of us to know that we are the author of our life. We are the author of our future. We cannot change the past, but we can definitely change the present and transform what happens in our future.